Hello, my lovely tarot lovers. This is Maya. This is your Taropolitan community host. And today we are going to look at John F. Kennedy and his brother Robert F. Kennedy files. What is happening and what is going to happen with those files? This is true crime case that fascinate me. The assassination of JF Kennedy and RFK is still something that is mind-blowing, really. I'm a believer that both brothers, they have accomplished, one their presidency and the other one his political ambitions and purpose. We will have not only a better USA or a better American continent, but a whole better world. I believe that the world will have been more tolerant, we will not have Cold Wars, and most probably we will have been a lot more progressive and a better inclusion and integration of a better society and a better world, really. I also believe that when a president like JFK and his brother are killed, when people like this are killed, when journalists are killed or silenced, when witnesses are also killed and silenced, you don't have a democracy. This is a very alarming sign that we don't have a democracy when these things happen. We don't have a say. Today, I'm not going to focus on the theories of what happened, who was involved, because obviously nobody believed that it was Oswald or it was Sharham. Nobody believed that. I'm not going to talk about the double shooter theory. I'm not going to talk about if it was the mob, if it was the mafia, if it was Cuba, if it was France, if it was the Soviet Union, if it was the CIA, if it was Wall Street, if it was the armed trades complex industry. I don't gonna delve into it if it was a foreign agent involved that we don't know. I'm also not going to look into the 100+ witnesses and journalists that die in very suspicious circumstances. I also not going to do a reading if it was an internal coup led by the Vice President Johnson theory or the Patsy mind control theories that started in the 1950s. Unless you leave me a comment below, and then I will do a reading according to your question. What I'm focusing on today is why after 60+ years, JFK files, 1% of the files is a lot of documents. It's like we thinking 1% is nothing. 1% from all the documents is a lot of documents. Why those documents, regardless of whether it's Biden or Trump, those documents are still undisclosed and very secretive. And they have apparently, they are saying that they are undisclosed because there is living intelligence sources. I don't believe that because JF Kennedy was assassinated in 1963 and Robert F. Kennedy was assassinated in 1968. We are in 2023. These people, if they are alive, I don't think they will be there will be the sharpest tools, or they will be put in jail at that age, because they will be like 100 years old or more if they were in their 30s or 40s during that time. Living intelligence sources, nobody believes that. And the other thing that they're saying is they can undisclose those documents because they are current foreign alliances. Yes, because we have to then delve there, which this other, because if it was Russia, if it was the Soviet Union, if it was Cuba, they will, or if they have dirt on any of those countries or any other nation, I think they will be happy to undisclose that. So that foreign alliance nation that participated or is been there, they don't want to disclose. And this is where I want to get. What is going to happen? When this 1% of JFK files will be open? And the other question is why Robert FK files have never been disclosed. Nothing. They are completely closed. I also want to ask about Robert F. Kennedy Jr., what he thinks about the theories, because he must be aware of that. They assassinated his father, his uncle, and there is also other suspicious death inside the family that they call the F. Kennedy curse. And I want to ask if Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is aware of those conspiracies and what he thinks about them. Because Robert F. Kennedy, sometimes he get, whoever know about this true crime case knows that there is foreign agents involved in this case. So my question is, Robert F. Kennedy should know about this. So what he thinks about that, and if he going to reopen his father case, because no files are open from that. At least we got some from John F. Kennedy, but the 1%, the most important thing that is still affecting till now, they don't want to open. So this is where I want to delve. Say that, pues let's start by shuffling the cards. So what we have in the opening, we have a lot of fire. So this is still alive. This is still alive. So a lot of energy around JFK and RFK files. A lot of energy around it. It's still very alive. There is an important woman. The sensation I have from this woman is that she's gonna bring, or whether she's gonna, this woman remind me Whitney Webb or somebody like that. Whitney Webb will be somebody like that. Somebody, or whether that brings more information, more evidence, something substantial to the table, or somebody who with their resources are gonna or reopen the cases or fight for these files and this information to be released to the public. So we have the Nine of Wands in the past, this female, the Queen of Pentacles, and in the future the Three of Wands. And the total number here is 9, 10, 13, 14, 15. The total is the Devil. Oh, the energy is, there is a very negative, in a lot of intensity around these true crime cases. The assassination of the Kennedys is something that is still, I think, is still concerning people. It's still very present, very alive. And I find very interesting that in the past it was even more difficult. I think of whether it's people that now they have something more substantial, that it will push them forward to see which option is better and how to open things, how to open the road to know more. But I don't like the energy around it. It's very dark. It's not a very good energy around it. Good intentions of some people they still want to fight, want to protect this, to not be disclosed, and other people are, I would say, like now they are becoming more aware or more interested in this case. Now that we have seen the opening, which is the overall energy of this reading, let's see why they still holding on this 1% of JFK files. Okay, we have the Death in the past, the Four of Wands, and the Two of Wands. Again, we have the element of fire. The element of fire is always quite abrasive. It's quite intense. It's not soft. It's not malleable. You know, it's definitely intense. A lot of masculinity involved as well. A lot of testosterone. A lot of things related to conflicts. But it's very interesting that we have the Death in the past, we have the Four of in the present, and the Two of Wands in the future. The total number here is 19, the Sun. I will give it a couple of years more. few years more, even a decade more. Few years more, I think many of these things will be undisclosed. And undisclosed, so the energy that we have in the past is the death. They have really tried so hard for people to forget about disclosed. It's done and dusted. It was a long time ago. We have to move on. You know, they have been like really pushing. And also they have put another things in front of us to say, but look here, don't look there. This is done and dusted. It's better like you focus or concentrate on that. And they're gonna still trying ways to stop the public access these files. They will still doing their best for people to have any sort of information about this. The thing is, if the public knows the whole thing about JFK, this 1% of files, there will be a lot of conflicts of interest for the elites, for the people who are in power. But at some point, I don't give it more than a decade, these files will be open. In the next years will be open. Now, let's see what are the implications of them opening now these files. Wow, we have all sorts. All sorts. This is very interesting. Law and justice, information, analysis, communication. It will affect a lot of things. It will affect what we think, how we think about things. And it's funny, but here is partnerships. Partnerships, the king and the queen. The king and the queen are partners or family members or related somehow. They have commitments. They have contracts together. But what is funny as well is the Two of Swords here. So in the past, the Two of Swords and 13 and 2 is 15, the devil. The energy of this is unbelievable. In the past, I would say like they have the problem of this is there has been strong alliances, strong friendships, strong regardless of what one side or the other do, they will be in each other's back. They will be protecting each other. It will be, I would say, like a high compromise, especially legally, and especially it will even in international law. And the total number here is the number 9, the Hermit, because this is a long-term alliances. A lot of things will be connected for a very long time, for a very long period of time. So whether it's JFK, things that happened maybe right before JFK, but a lot of things that have happened, including his brother, obviously, but a lot of things that have happened after the assassination of the Kennedy brothers. The Hermit, the number 9, 3, 4, and 2 is 9, the Hermit, and the Hermit shows a long period, a long cycle. So there is people with an age that they are involved, but there is also young people today that they know about this or they are involved somehow. Will we ever, for example, if this was undisclosed, this 1% was undisclosed, what will be the public opinion about this? We have fire again. Look, the 6, the lovers, the number 6, this represents the people, the choices that we make. The 8 of Wands, movement, energies that push forward. And the 9 of Cups, satisfaction of the people. The people will push forward for something, for a better future, for more clarity. I would say like this, definitely there will be, for the public, will be a rude awakening. So the people will have a rude awakening that will bring satisfactions in the future. Things that has been hidden or not said for a very long time. You know, like a long-term future of truth and justice. The swords here are about justice. And here the people will have a rude awakening that will bring, I would say like more integration and connection with other people. Look, 9, this person here is waiting other people to come. So I think people will be more together, knowing the truth. Definitely more together, for sure. Now, let's have a look. What are the implications and if we can have any clues of the current foreign alliance that is affecting this 1% release. Look, the swords and the swords with the judgment. So the Seven of Swords in the past, the Judgment in the present, and the Six of Swords in the future. It will affect a lot of legalities. I'm still saying the same, international law. It will affect international law. I think it will open criminal cases or court cases against these alliances and against these nations or nation. And the total here is 27, 30, 33, 6, the people, the rude awakening of the people. So I would say that these other nations have strong ties with USA, very strong ties. And the opinion, because the judgment is about opinions, is about transcendental events, is about mix here with the Seven of Swords, is about misconceptions, lies, the wrong perpetration or the wrong portrayal of something, and not able to move forward, not able to achieve something forward, because the people will have a tremendous impact on everyone. I would say it will have like an international magnitude. Many people will be like a rude awakening and a rude awakening. Eight of Wands is like, it's also traveling, it's also movement, it's also things that happen unexpected. But here with the transcendental, and here is the double 10, the 20, the judgment, implies something that is very transcendental. So now, say that, let's have a look at the files of Robert F. Kennedy. So why are those files completely undisclosed? Why they are locked down? Why they haven't even been able to open a case to investigate further in those files? So first, why are not undisclosed? Look, the swords that we saw before, the legal things, the information that is there is linked. And the fire and the swords, this is the same elements that we were looking into the JFK 1% files. This means that there is people who has tried. There is a female, the Queen of Wands, and a male, the King of Pentacles. And here we have that many people, or at least very important people, or these people, and they are very different, they are not related, have tried to get into those files, and they always have the Knight of Swords. They always have like, no, stop, no, let's move on from this, let's not go there. And the total number here is 14. I think people have seen this file, and there is a very small amount of people who knows about this, who knows the information in the files today, and they don't want to open it. Let's see the whys. Why so much? I think is because of the links, the fire and the wands that we were looking at before, the links with his brother. Will somebody, Robert F.K. Jr. or anyone, reopen or try to open a case so these files will be released? This is the female, the Queen of Pentacles, that was coming in the opening. Yes, there will be somebody who will finally have the resources and the time and the support or anything that is needed to open a legal case about RFK files. For RFK, I would say like there is people who has in the past been very disappointed of the system, not being able to go through. They have tried and not being able to go anywhere. And some of them is because of the resources. They haven't had the money, or they have very little resources that they could approach or they could use in order to reopen a case of this magnitude. But in the future, and I'm gonna say it's in the next 10 years, in the next few years, this is not 15, 20 years more, no. In the next years, whether it's 5 to 10 years, I think this will be released again. This will be open and the files will be known. Let's see why they are protecting so much this case. Why they are protecting so much this case and these files? Look, the cups, the people, the information. Look, the Fool and the Hermit and the Queen of Cups. The Queen of Cups represent here the people, the public. And here is because the information with the Five of Cups here is absolutely crazy. It's devastating. It's very upsetting. It's very disappointing. And because this has affected people, resources and people's lives, because it's, for example, by getting rid of the Kennedy brothers, the industrial complex of arms and militarily, there will be not so much money put in defense. They call it defense, but I think they should call it attack. Many people will realize that the world, the taxes that we all pay, they go into defense, and now they want to put the budget higher. So many people will say, oh, you know, we could have money for health, for education, for investments, for science, for progress, for technology, and what are we doing? What have we doing for so long with the Hermit? Because let me tell you something, this is not something isolated that happened in the 1960s, in the last century. This is something that has been ongoing for so long till today, and there is links. And if the people, the public, knows what is really going on for so long, because look, 9 and 3 of the Queen is 12. 12 is the Hanged One. This has not changed at all in the last 60, 70 years. This has not changed at all. And yes, there will be like, people will be having a better understanding that they have been taken as fools. Okay, what will be the impact on people, on the public, if they knew, if they had the information of the files? Look, the Moon, the High Priest, and the Six of Pentacles. This is very, very interesting because the Hierophant represents the highest person in a hierarchy. In our societies are structured by these prominent archetypes, and the Pope is one of the highest ones in the major arcana. The Pope represents elites, represents another class, another caste. For example, in India you still have the religious caste. If it's a family, in a family runs, and also it happens in other religions as well. You know, if in a family runs priest, a religious advocate for that family, or a political family, but that family got the links and the environment and everything, and the acceptance already for that person to develop in that area. So the public will have, I think with the Moon, they will realize that these hierarchies, these higher people, have lied to us, have lied to the people. The Moon is about the Moon with the Pope. Doesn't look like whatever the Pope was teaching, whatever this higher figure was teaching, it wasn't, you know, the light of the Moon is beautiful, inspire artists, but in serious things like that, it could be interpreted as the veil, like gaslighting. Gaslighting is the best way to explain how the people will see by the rediscovery of these documents. And another thing that people will question is the money, where the taxes all these years has gone, where the money has gone, why there is money for this and no money for that. There could be a bit of a revolution, or at least people uniting more for the common good, or the higher good of all. And let's count the total. So 18, 20, 26, 29, 11, the Justice. And here is the Justice as the overall energy, which is much what I'm saying. People will look for more justice. They will find the whole thing very unfair and far away from the concept of justice, of law and justice that we should happen, whether it's in politics or in any area of society and life, because also the Hierophant marks here society, how we structure ourselves, what we believe is the truth. And now let's have a look at what Robert F. Kennedy knows about the theories around his uncle and his father assassinations, what he knows about. The fire, the hidden information. Look, the Two of Cups in the past, the Six of Wands in the present, and the Two of the High Priestess in the future. We have a double two. 2 and 2 is 4, is the Emperor. The Pope, or the Hierophant, and the Emperor are the highest figures in the hierarchy. Here we have maybe Robert F. Kennedy, he could say in the past, I was more naive, or I didn't know well, or I believe, or I trusted. But nowadays, he cannot say that. I think he knows, but somehow he's also pushing this information away, because the High Priestess and the Moon, they have a similitude. If the Moon is the gaslighting here, the High Priestess is the veil that covers things. So we don't see them as they are. It's the veil that covers the High Priestess, the identity, the information, because the High Priestess is holding here information, and actually, if we turn it upside down, it's the Torah, the information that is hidden. I think he knows, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. knows things, absolutely yes, but there is information that it will also be uncovered in, I would say, in years to come, a couple of years to come. And I think he's also aware that there is more things that they are not coming up. He knows that. I think Robert F. Kennedy Jr., with this information, he's trying, I don't know if he's trying to get into somewhere so he can use this information in the future. Maybe, at least something. But I don't think he is ignoring this information. I think he is aware that this information is precious, comes from an elite that he's also part. And maybe he's using this information or keeping this information for the future to be unveiled or unreleased in the future. If he knows of the foreign alliances, let me ask, if he knows about that, what is his opinion about the foreign alliances of the 1%? He knows something, but whether he's playing naive and innocent, naive, soft, innocent, or whether he knows, or whether he doesn't know anything, or whether he doesn't know that much. You know, he knows things, or maybe the sensation I get from him is more like, I don't want to know that much now. But he will not have, in the future, he will not have another choice than to know, because something will be presented, and maybe not because he opened this case of his father, or this 1% of files from his uncle, but maybe because the information will be unveiled by other people, unveiled or revealed by other people. I think he is, at the moment, he knows that there is something, he knows that there is foreign alliances that affect or have been implicated in father and uncle in these assassinations, but I think he's keeping quiet. He's definitely keeping things to himself. Whatever he knows, he's keeping it to himself. But in the future, he will fight. I hope so, or at least I hope so, that he will do something. He will confront this situation, the information, or the alliances. And the total number here, 7 is 14, and 4 is 18. 18 is the moon, the lies, the gaslighting. I don't know when. I think, to be honest, I think Robert F. Kennedy Jr., he knows something, but he's keeping quiet. But in the future, or whether he will be pushed, or whether it will be the right time for him to do something about it. And let's ask if he will do anything about his father case legally, as he is an attorney himself. Wow, we have the 7 of Pentacles, the 10 of Swords, and the Hanged One. This is, like I say, the 7 of Pentacles is expectations, planting seeds. I think Robert F. Kennedy knows, RFK Jr. knows there is something, and there is something that he could be. But at the moment, with the Ten of Swords, and let's see the previous cards, at the moment with the swords here and swords here, it seems to be that at the moment things are very delicate. It's almost like he's giving up on that at the moment. For him, it will be risking too much if he fight for his father case to be reopened and reinvestigated, and the files to be open to the public. Obviously, he will take time. It's gonna take time. I believe for the Knight of Wands that we saw before, that at some point, or whether it's because comes the right time, or whether he doesn't have any other choice than to fight for, or whether it's because he's really scared that he will be punished or something will happen to him. What is, I think, is very selfish, knowing the implications that they have. The implications had a repercussion on USA politics, but on the whole world politics, really. To hold on because you want to save your ass, I don't think it sounds very good. But I will say that I think, or whether he will wait for the right time, or whether he will be pushed by other forces to reopen this case. Okay, so I think this is the reading for today on JFK, RFK, and RFK Jr. If you have any questions, I will really be all over the moon to hear about your opinion, or maybe things that you know that you want to share. If you have any questions that you want me to answer with the tarot, to analyze, forecast around this case, these two cases that they were like a commotion around the world, and it still be today, and it still be very alive, let me know in the comments below. So thank you very much for watching, for commenting, for subscribing, for liking this video, and I see you all very soon in the live stream this 12th of May 2025, full moon live stream. So if you have any burning questions, subscribe to our channel and be part of our community and our live events, where I will be answering all of your questions. So I see you all in the next video. Mwah.